There it is. That's a fox right up there, just running down the road now. Hello everybody. So I was looking at the desolation of my snow fort, and I was thinking about, you know, throwing snowballs, and how you can only throw them so hard. But then I was like, you know, I've got a way actually of making snowballs go just a bit further and a bit faster. So the simplest and easiest way to get a snowball to go better is to lob it with a bit more force. Now, if you're like me, you're not necessarily that strong, and you know, getting stronger requires like lots of effort. But there's a much easier way than getting stronger to lob it with more force, and that's a sock. Now, a sock is basically just a rudimentary sling, so you could also use like a shopping bag. You'll note that they're about the same length, so you'll get about the same amount of velocity out of them. Or, if you want to be fancy, I'm going to show you how to make a reusable sling. That's not to say that the bag and the sock aren't reusable. I mean, you can use them more than once, but it's not like you can use them with multiple projectiles. You just put a projectile in them and then lob the whole thing. So I have here some fabric. I believe this is from like an old t-shirt or something. And it does have a nice edge, which I'm going to try and keep if I can. The nice thing about this fabric is it's non-fraying fabric, and it's also a little stretchy. Now the stretchiness isn't like a huge plus or a huge negative. I do think it will make projectiles stay in the sling better. The one thing is that it is only this long, so we're not going to get a sling longer than that. But that should be plenty of length for what I'm planning on using it for. So what we're going to do first is we're just going to cut ourselves a section of this material. Now, when you're cutting straight is a good idea, but if you're not perfectly straight, that's fine too. You want to make sure that it's wide enough on this end that you can cut it into 3 strips. And then you end up with something that looks kind of like this. Now you want enough space here for whatever projectiles you're going to be launching with your sling. And then 3 strands on this side, 3 strands on this side. And all you're going to do is you're just going to take those strands and you're going to braid them together. And you end up with something that looks kind of like this. So you've got a pouch in the middle for whatever you're going to lob, and then strings coming out the other end to act as a sling. Now this one is really short. What you can do if you want it to be longer is you can either use longer fabric to start with, or you can add strings to either end, which is what I'm probably going to do. So I have here just a pair of shoelaces. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to tie the ends here and use it to make it a little longer. So I did tie a bit of an awkward knot there, but it's because I wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to pull out of that bit. And I put loops on either end, just because then I'm using double the strength as far as I'm using both halves of the shoelace rather than just one half, because now it's actually way longer than it needs to be, but it means that I've got plenty of sling to work with. So let's take this out and test it, shall we? So I have here a couple of snowballs. I'm going to just throw one with my hand first. And it went just past the snow fort, snow pile, snow thing. Not too bad. Next we're going to try the sock. So what we do is we take the snowball, stick it down in the sock, get it down into the tip of the sock, and then we whirl it around and launch it. And it actually didn't even go as far as the regular snowball did. So next we've got right here our plastic shopping bag. Basically the same principle as the sock. We're just going to take it, whirl it a couple times, launch it, and it's not going quite as far as what I just throwing with my hand. I wonder why that is. So now for the little handy dandy sling thing. First I'm gonna figure out how low I can go and still get it to release well. I'm then gonna tie a knot in it at the spot that I want to be holding there, and then I'm actually going to put a loop around my wrist for the other side, so that way I don't have to worry about holding on to it. When I let go, it keeps the sling with me rather than just launching it. So then you take snowball, you put it in that nice little pouch we got going on there. Hold it like so. And that went about twice as far as just throwing it by hand. So, we're gonna come down and look at these really quick. So, and also talk a little bit about kind of what's going on here. So the sock and the plastic bag, so we've got the sock here, and the plastic bag here, went really close to the same amount of distance that the one that I threw just regularly went, but with less control. And the reason why is because I was throwing the sling with the projectile, and that creates an awful lot of drag. I'm gonna go put these over on the porch really quick, but it creates an awful lot of drag that then slows down the projectile, and also because it's not like a guided, like sort of fin or anything, it then makes it like float around all sorts of places. So instead of going like straight like you want it to, it goes like wah with sound effects, and is a lot less efficient. So this is the snowball I threw from my hand. I would say that's a distance of maybe 100 feet. That would be 33 meters for those of you who aren't in the United States. The one that I lobbed with my sling went somewhere over in this vicinity. Wait, no, I think those are fox tracks. Oh no, it's right here. That right there is the snowball I lobbed. And I would say it's probably another 50 feet. So maybe not quite twice as far, but half again as much, which is pretty impressive. And it also had a lot more force when I was launching it, of course, because that's how it managed to go further. But the point is that with the sling, you can throw things a lot further and a lot harder than you can with just your hand. Now, this is, you know, maybe not that practical for everyday use, but if, for example, you were trying to like hunt an animal or something and you didn't have anything else, it's possible to fashion a sling out of slightly more rugged materials, and you could potentially, you know, catch a grouse or something with it, which, you know, there's good eating on grouse. But I do want to emphasize that this is not really a toy. Don't lob stuff at people unless you want to kill people, and if you want to kill people, then that's your problem, not mine. So don't do that. Anyway, I just want to say thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.